What's going on YouTube? Today will be a slightly different video to my other videos, whereas this will be the first video where I talk about why I love a specific gaming company. There'll be a few of these, but this is my first one, and I thought I'd start off with one where I've played their games most recently, so it's more fresh in my mind. So let's begin. This will also be the first video I edited because I managed to get Adobe Premiere Pro. If that works, then I won't be talking at the end of this video about this. I would have moved this part to the front of the video to show you that. It will be Quantic Dream. Now, you might have heard of them from Detroit Become Human or Beyond Two Souls or Heavy Rain. But if you haven't heard of them before that, you might have heard of them when they announced their Star Wars Eclipse, which I don't know anything about Star Wars. Basically, I haven't seen any of the movies or anything. I've only played the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game. But apart from that, I know next to nothing about Star Wars except for the basic, like Darth Vader, Anakin, all that stuff. So I'm excited to see where they go because I love Quantic Dream as a company. But I'm going to talk about this company. It's going to be about those three main games: Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls. And that's basically what this video is going to be. Now, this isn't going to be like a documentary or a history about Quantic Dream because I don't know much about those things a long time. I might do something like that with a company, but there's already another YouTuber that I know called Nick930, I think his name is, where he does documentaries about games and that, like the history of games. So I'll probably avoid that if I can. But Quantic Dream is mainly known for story-based campaign games, which I love those types of games. The first one I believe was Heavy Rain, where it is a quite unique type of game to the ones I played previously. Like I said in my Assassin's Creed Origins video, Origins basically kickstarted my career to gaming when I started gaming properly. I picked up Heavy Rain not knowing really much about the game, except that obviously I was made by Quantic Dream and I heard it was a story-based game. But I picked it up thinking, alright, let's try this. I love that game so freaking much, dude. Like, it is such a good game. That is the first story-based game I played. I haven't even played the Telltale games before then. So, to experience a game where you need to think about your choices a little bit, about the impact that they'll have then and possibly in the future, was quite heavily weighing on you in a weird sort of way. Especially if you're someone who doesn't really know much and who isn't the smartest tool in the shed. But that game is such a great game. It's about this father who lost his son, and then there's like this other killer dude like roaming around, the origami killer. He's killing people. Your other son goes missing, so I believe you're trying to find your other son while trying to uncover who the origami killer is. There's some Saw-like elements to it when you have to complete trials. If you want to get answers to where your son is, you can choose not to do any of those trials, find out the long way, or just quite possibly not even finding out at all. I don't know what that. I've only played that game once. I am planning on buying it off of PS Plus when I get my PS5 in November, because it's only like $15 on the store. So I'm gonna plan to replay it in a few months to platinum the game and all that. It is such a good game. I remember only completing 2 of the trials, I believe, and having like only like 2 fingers like on a hand or something. I found my son in the where you find him, and I found out who the killer was. But I remember hearing from people and other gaming channels that there's like 10 or so different endings that game can get based on your choices. I obviously only got one, but I know that there's a trophy to get them all, so I will need to do that, so I'll be able to experience all the endings. That game just blew me away. Like, I love that game so much, and I've learnt to love Quantic Dream as a collective company. I don't know if they have any other games beside those games. They might have other smaller games before Heavy Rain, but I only know of Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit Become Human, and they're working on the Star Wars Eclipse game. But Heavy Rain was so good and a great start. Well, probably not a start to their career, but a start to Quantic Dream's career in my eyes, based on their games I've played. Next up was Beyond Two Souls, which, as of recording this video, I am playing through and trying to platinum on the PS4 because it came with PS Plus. So that game, in terms of the amount of endings you can get, I believe is toned down a little bit. Like, there's, I think, 3 or 4 endings you can get, possibly only 2. I can't remember, but it is still a great game. You play as this girl, Jodie, who, when she was born, was linked with this, like, entity who's, like, attached to you, and you call him Aiden, whatever, however you want to say. It's spelt Aiden, but she calls him Aiden, so I sometimes flip between both. That game is also quite a good game. The controls are a little bit janky, like when you got the little white dot to signal where you need to move the right joystick to interact with something. I can sometimes get a bit confused, but it is still a good game. It is also a great game. Beyond Two Souls. That is, I did play that before on the PS4. Same time I played Heavy Rain, because I remember buying it at EB Games, the physical copy, where it came with Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls in it. So I remember playing it before. The ending I believe I got was when you choose to go to the infraworld with whoever else has died throughout the game. Obviously, to get the platinum, you need to get all the endings in that, so replayability. Plus the fact, I can't remember if Heavy Rain does or not, but at the end of each mission with Beyond Two Souls, it shows you a graph of all the choices you made and what one you did make and what other one you didn't make, so you can see what percentage of other players made your same decision, as well as players who made a different decision. So that is also good, because then it also gives you a good sense of replayability, because you'd be like, okay, what happens if I didn't save this person? And like you see that person in like the infraworld at the end of the game, so it's quite cool. The addition of Aiden, though, is great, because it gives the developers an excuse to make more with the game. If you understand I'm going to try to explain that in just a second. By that I mean, I assume that in most games, after like the cutscene or interaction with a character, once they walk out the door, they just T-pose their way out of there, and that's it for that time. But with Quantic Dream, you can control Aiden, who can like go through walls and shit. So when characters leave the room that you're in, if you're allowed to use Aiden, which I think is 8 times out of 10, you can follow them to a certain extent. Like, just go outside the room, and they can, I think, for the times I did it, all the times I did it, they had them having a conversation, which was great, because it's not anything that most people wouldn't notice. It's great because it's something not everyone would see, only those of us who like to explore the environment of a game, which they didn't need to add that, but the fact that they did is so great, because I love attention to detail in games with things like that. And I think most people do too. Now, For the big boy, Detroit Become Human. Oh, damn, boy. That game is such a leap and a half from Beyond Two Souls and a leap from Heavy Rain, both in the gameplay wise, the character wise, and endings. Oh my god, there's 3 characters you play as: Kara, Connor, and Marcus. Each have their own story, and it is so great. But where to begin with this game? Oh boy. Fuck. It's set in the near future, I believe 2038, where you're in the city Detroit, hence the name Detroit Become Human, where androids are like the thing now. They're all over the place doing work and stuff. So people have used the machines to do what they wanted them to do, if you know what I mean. Like, they got machines to do just about everything. So Kara was a housemaid android who was in charge of keeping the house tidy with this disgusting piece of shit. I cannot even be bothered to remember his name. I think Todd is his name or something. And to take care of his girl, Alice. Todd's a complete fuckwit. He is a douche. He is a fucking monster. He should not exist. He beats his daughter. And he beats the android, Kara. One day, you just snap and you run away with Alice. You can either run away without hurting Todd, run away with beating up Todd, or run away after you kill Todd, based on what you find throughout the game. Connor is an android prototype, the most advanced ever, who is tasked with joining the Detroit police to hunt down deviants. Deviants are androids that break their code or something, where they do stuff. They like physically stop themselves from listening and do what they want, because androids are designed to listen and do what you want. You say do this, they do this. You say do that, they do that. But deviants, you tell them to do this, they'll just say basically fuck you and do whatever they want, and apparently that's a crime. I mean, it's not a crime, but it's only a crime I see when they hurt the people. But the first interaction you have with Connor is just such a oof. Like, you're hunting a deviant who has like this little girl. You're on a roof in a penthouse. He has like this little girl held up with like a gun to her head, and like it's oh my god. Each mission alone has about anywhere between 2 to 4 different ways that mission can end, which introduces, you could say, like 3 to 4 times the replayability at a bare minimum. And then you got Marcus, who's this android who's caring for an old painter man who has a son who's on drugs, breaks into the house wanting money, gets into a fight with you. The father dies of like a heart attack, I believe, or some heart condition. When the police arrive, they blame you because you're an android, and then that's when you start to become a deviant and want every android to abandon their masters and join you in becoming deviant, so you can have your own rights and equal rights and do what you please without any consequences of getting killed. I love each and every mission with Detroit. That is very rare with games nowadays, because with every game I play, there is at least, at minimum, 2 missions or a section of the game which I do not like. Every time I replay that certain game, I'm like, ugh, this bit again. Oh my god, why? But with Detroit, I'm planning on platinuming that after I platinum Beyond Two Souls because that's on PS Plus. But every time I play Detroit, I've played that game about 3 times because it is so good. Every time I replay it, I'm like, got the same amount of hypeness for every mission. There's no mission or part of a mission where I'm like, ugh, hurry up. No. I am not like that with any mission in that game. Because they did such a fantastic job with those missions. Each one of them felt unique and different. Especially the last mission, I think it's called Freedom of Detroit, or the Freedom Fight, or something like that. Where that mission, depending on your choices, if Marcus is alive and Kara's alive, is like, I believe, like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. Which, holy shit. Each other missions have been anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes max. The last mission is like, I think it's called the Battle for Detroit, actually. Just thinking of it. It's like 2 hours long. That's the great thing. You can have Kara and Marcus die just about anywhere in the game where you play as them. I think basically your first interaction with Kara, when Todd snaps and like wants to beat up his daughter and like tells you to stay put, don't you fucking move. You're obviously not meant to do that. You're meant to move, break through the barrier and get Alice, so become deviant. But you can choose to actually stay there in like almost a Far Cry type of way. You stay there for like 5-10 minutes. Todd will go upstairs, beat his daughter to death, feel bad and sorry and angry, come downstairs, blame you for it, and then kill you. Yeah. Then you don't play as Kara for the rest of the game. Or, when you're playing as Kara, if you choose to hide in the hotel and you get spotted, and when you're playing as Connor, you get spotted, you spot Kara while you're playing as Connor and you try to escape across the freeway. If you don't press any buttons while crossing the freeway, you can die. I don't know if there's any other missions where you can choose Kara to die. Marcus, from memory, he can only die once, I think, and that's when you're marching in the streets with the deviants. Like, you pick deviants up from the sides of the street, you're marching, and you have the police saying like, this is a illegal gathering, disperse now, you'll be shot, whatever. If you have no backup there, like if you let certain other characters die or not join Jericho, you can have Marcus killed. I believe that's the only time Marcus can get killed. Don't quote me on that because I've only done that once. As for Connor, every mission is Connor. You can end every mission early by having Connor get killed. Now, with Connor, because it's like the major story, the main plot, like the police and that, Connor's there's like an infinite amount of Connors. Like, you can start off the game with Connor A and have Connor die every single mission, then finish the game with like Connor G or H, because there's just an infinite amount of Connors. And every time I don't know where you go, it might be in your mind because you close your eyes or whatever, but every time you play as Connor and you meet this girl Amanda in like this snowy place or whatever, there's a certain section where there's graves of Connor. So if you let Connor die twice throughout the game, you'll only ever see 2 graves of Connor. There's actually a trophy involved where you have to let Connor die at every point in the game. But Detroit is such a good game. I've only seen the trailer for Star Wars Eclipse. I mainly only see trailers for games because I don't like spoilers. But as I mentioned in my quickly thrown together piece of shit Assassin's Creed Mirage video, I might have to start looking at rumors and stuff involving with any new game, because if I don't, I'll just be making either no content about that game until the unboxing and then my opinion on it, or it's I don't know. I don't even know if the channel will be successful. I'm only hoping for at least the maximum, like 100,000 subscribers. I get that. I've made my goal. I'm happy. I've currently only got 12, and I believe I've held that for about a few weeks since I uploaded the video. But I'm gonna have to put some effort into games, except for just writing scripts for games I want to talk about. Like, that's fine. I don't mind that. But if I'm gonna make half decent content about upcoming games and not just talking about what I hope for the game or unboxing it when I get it or anything like that, I'm gonna have to start looking up information like rumors and stuff along with that, which in the beginning I won't enjoy because I don't like spoilers. I watch trailers and that's basically it. But yeah, Quantic Dream, great company. I hope they do well with Star Wars Eclipse. This is technically my last video I'm doing without a script, because I had this video already recorded and set to upload in 2 days, because I'll be trying to do a video once every 2 days, not one every day, because that would just be too much for a small, like a really small YouTuber. Maybe once I get to like 1,000 or 5,000 subs, I might start doing one every day. But for now, I'll try my best to do one every 2 days. So, like I was saying, I had this video and a couple of others set to come out 2 days from now, then 4, 6, 8 days from now. But since I recently found a way to get Adobe Premiere Pro, I'm going to re-record this video and the other 3 I had set and try my best to roughly edit these videos, which will make it easier, so I can have my phone sitting on my boxes all the way from there, have the camera that way instead of that way. And because if you remember in my last few videos, I've had the camera like that way really close to me, because I had to pause the video whenever I was feeling I was gonna fuck up. But now, if this works, I can just edit them out, so I can have the camera sitting a bit further away, which I feel like is going to be a bit better, because if you don't have someone that's right in your face and a video that actually fits the screen, not has to get cropped or whatever, it's going to do just like maybe a view or 2 better. The thumbnails for videos, I still won't be able to do that much. If you remember the Assassin's Creed Origins and the Assassin's Creed Mirage, I think they're the only 2 up right now. And any video going forward, I'll try to get a thumbnail, or just like, for the thumbnail, it will be just a picture I find off of Google relating to the game I'm talking about. I feel like that's going to be it until I get Photoshop, because I think this is pretty decent. So yeah, thank you all for watching if you made it to the end, or if you just made it halfway, which I'll have no clue and you won't hear anything about this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts about any of the Quantic Dream games or Star Wars Eclipse down in the comments below. Please hit the like and the subscribe button, because it would mean a lot to me, because my goal is just to get 100,000 subs and I'll be happy. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good time.